It was a fairly warm day today, so now that the sun has just... Can't disappoint, my friends. Now that the sun has just dropped below the horizon, or sorry, below the tree line, I've still got about an hour or so of daylight left. I'm going to grab a quick couple of puffs of my cigarette and basically position the camera, get these big doors open, and start tearing apart an old step that came off the house. There's a lot of rotten wood in it, but there's quite a bit of good wood in it as well. One of the tools I'm definitely going to need is my scratch awl, because it was painted several times, and, well, nobody plugs paint holes. So, I see I've got somebody watching, somebody liked. I'm willing to bet that's Stormy. Let me just open the live chat. No chats yet. But yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is just unscrewing... Oh, 2 watchers. Hi, guys. I'll be tearing apart an old step and just harvesting some wood from it. So I'll be starting that right away. So I don't speak Swedish, Prime Knight. I know it's sleepy. It's just a typo. Yeah, it must be... Oh, goodness. Quite late there. Are you still working nights? It's just after 8:15 here. That's PM. Doesn't require freedom units. So I'm going to throw myself a miniature party. That's a York peppermint party. A little bit of carbohydrate to burn off while I'm doing this. So, with no further ado, you're doing extra hours tomorrow. Good job. And pay no attention whatsoever to the neighbors outside screaming at what I assume is their dog, but might very well be their children. And someone said, hello, beautiful. I didn't catch the name. I'm going to hope that's Stormy. But today, I have a plug-in handy. I do believe I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So, here's what I'm doing today. Pulling that thing apart. And don't mind as I wander creepily around behind the camera and yet keep talking to it. Oh, hello, Mr. Spider. Sorry to disturb you. You go back to killing things I don't like. There we are. And for the record, you will most likely never see me kill a spider unless it's actively crawling across the face. Because I do like spiders. Now, let me see what's being said in the live chat. Hello, beautiful, was Mr. Crow. Hello, Crow. Hello, Simon JJ. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of tearing things apart, so you guys get to watch a bit of, not exactly demolition, but it's kind of, let's call it disassembly. And of course, the first thing I have to do is actually get it propped up so I can get at a good angle on it. So I need a couple of pieces of wood to prop it, and I'm looking at what I have. I'm thinking I'm not going to use wood after all. I'm going to use one of these stands, possibly both. Yeah, okay. You'll see me turn around a little bit before I actually get started. Mostly because I need to acquire a few tools. The aforementioned scratch-all. Okay, I know where that is. And I will use an impact driver to pull those screws out because they're probably seized in the wood fairly good. Fortunately, I won't need any safety gear beyond my gloves because I don't anticipate anything flying. What else do I need? That's out there. I got the drill. I need a battery for my drill. Yep. And one of the features of these Radley batteries, which while it's a very cheap brand, I do really appreciate, is that it has a nifty little power gauge on it. So I'll do one there. This one goes with me. And I need a drill bit. And given that I was involved in the construction of this step, I know what screw type is in there and can pick that out very rapidly. And there we go. Okay. That goes there. And I need the other stand. So yeah, this isn't going to be terribly exciting. I'll probably spend a bit of time chatting with you guys off and on, which I'm generally want to do anyway, because I do suffer from the Newfoundland affliction of enjoying a good conversation. Now, there is one rotten board right there, so I can indicate that one for myself fairly easily. There we are. Ah, that's unfortunate. Okay. This, oh, hang on. Let's bring you guys outside with me a little bit. How much length have I got on that cord? Not a lot. So, you guys get to hang out pretty much there. So I can at least see when you message and tag. Don't forget, if you want to actually help me out with my woodworking projects, I do have a Subscribe Star and a PayPal. And I promise I am creating a merch shop. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is actually take off the edging that I put on, because that was the last stuff that went on, and I'm going to take it apart in the opposite direction that I put it together, which just makes sense. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Yeah, looks like the lighting's okay. Now, I don't mind sticking the scratch all into that end, because, well, that end's in really bad shape. And that's stripped. Excellent. That was not. Now, none of these screws are going to be reusable. Especially not the ones that are stripped. But I should be able to get some useful material out of this at least. Right now I'm just digging out the layers of paint that built up inside the screws to try and get at them. The ones I can get at anyway. There we are. Okay, that's strip 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 strip screws on, what, a 12-inch piece of wood. Well, maybe not so stripped after all. It's possible they were spinning, the screwdriver was spinning because it wasn't quite seated into the hole properly. At least in some of these. I don't think that one's spinning because it's stripped, but let's find out. Okay, that's stripped because it's stripped. We're spinning because it's stripped. I need a container to throw these useless old screws into. Let's see what we got. Definitely didn't want to come up. Okay, so once I get the edging off here, I'm going to sit down for a minute, have a few more puffs of my cigarette, and talk to chat. So if you're hanging around wondering why I'm not talking, give me a few seconds. Or, more accurately, a few minutes. There's a lot of strip screws here. Okay, it looks like the majority of them are stripped pretty badly. So what I'm going to end up doing, once I get the rest of these checked, is getting a short bar that's hanging just inside the shed there and putting against this seam. Yeah, very badly stripped, some of these. Some are also rusted, so this one actually looks like it might have been burned when he was put in. Okay. You started to come out, you bastard. Okay. Yeah, you know the wood is rotten when you can just pull the screw out. Yeah, okay. I have a suspicion I'm going to be able to just pull this loose. So, let's give that a try. No, okay. Because I don't want that stand to collapse. It's time for a bar. Oh, wow. As you can see, there's a lot of... as you can't see, there's actually a lot of insects on the back of this. What we call carpenters or wood lice. I believe in the US they're referred to as pillbugs. So yeah, as you can see, some of those screws are stripping pretty badly. Oh yeah, very badly. So those two pieces are probably useless. And matter of fact, this end of most of these boards is probably useless. Yeah, there's a lot of rotten gold in there. Okay, next up, get the rest of the edging. Well, I don't know if this is going to go any better on the other parts of the edging, so let's see what we got. Strip, empty hole. That screw came out almost clean. That's interesting. Now, as you can tell looking at this, this is actually the part that's kind of holding it up. Oh, that's actually screwed in well enough that it won't move on its own. Let's try the bar again. Okay, let's try the bar there. Okay, if I had a ply hammer, I could probably get that out. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, that's pulling completely away from the side anyway. Let's see what we got here. So that screw is spinning. Just a question of applying pressure to it to make it actually bite somewhere that it'll back itself out. Okay, that one doesn't want to move. Let's try the next one down. Oh, there is no next one down. Interesting. And that one's a broken stub. So really, the only thing that's keeping this thing together is this one screw. There we are. Oh, and one that I hadn't seen, which is there, but also in a rotten part of wood. Slightly less rotten, but yeah. So far, we've managed to get nothing but firewood off of this. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that looks like the lowest one. Yeah, it's a bad sign when I push a point into a piece of wood and I get water in return. On the upside, that one doesn't look too bad. Actually really happy about how some of these are coming out. I expected almost all of them to be stripped. One here. And the one there. Yes, there is. Okay. I'm not certain there's actually a screw in there. I'm going to assume there isn't. That one's spinning. And that one's spinning. I expect this one will spin too. Yep, spinning like a top. Okay. That just means more work for the bar. Oh wow. Yeah, definitely rotten. Okay. Let's have a short break and a chat. And given that, sorry about your chroma. Given that the edges of that is so rotten, I'm going to make sure I don't touch my camera with these gloves, which will be washed once I'm done this. Ah, hello. I see Stormy is in. Hello, love. Just sit down and have a cigarette with you folks now. Walk with me. Okay, let's get comfy, or something resembling it in any case. Oh, okay. Now I have to scroll back through a lot of chat. Well, not a lot, but some. Oh, and I see 5 watching and 5 likes. Thank you very much. Let's see. Simon says, hello, everyone. Crow asks if I think it would cost me a lot to make a wooden ring box. I made a small jewelry box for Stormy for Valentine's, and I had posted the pictures on my original Twitter, which, of course, you guys know has been permanently suspended. It depends on the material you want it made out of. If you wanted it made out of something exotic or something purchased new, then yes, it would cost a little bit. Depends on the dimensions. If you wanted something, say, the size of your standard, well, you make jewelry, so your standard ring box is roughly like that. About, what, 2 by 2 by 1.5 or 2. To make something like that with a hinge and all that sort of junk on it, it would be expensive from my current perspective, because I would have to go and find a hinge. There'd be a lot of labor involved, but making the insert to mount a ring on, making the box itself, wouldn't really take a lot of time. The finish would take time, and in terms of expensive, I would probably make something like that for around $50, and that would be using reclaimed wood. If you wanted an exotic wood, which I would kind of argue against depending on the wood, something I learned today is that even woods that naturally come out purple, like Purple Heart, eventually lose their color and turn black or brown. My suggestion would be, if I was doing it for you and you kind of gave me free roam as far as materials went, I would probably go with something either cedar, because it can get, actually I'll show you the clean side of that. It can take a very nice polish. I could do the Japanese burning technique, the name of which now has actually escaped me. I want to say Sasuke, but I know that's wrong. Let's see. Simon says, I would never kill a spider unless it's actually attacking me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not dealing with Australian spiders here in Newfoundland. I haven't actually hurt myself during this stream, Stormy, but I have a mystery blister that I don't know where that came from. I'm not ripping things apart. I'm reclaiming wood. Stormy asks how everyone is doing. Crow says, I wish I had pizza. Stormy responds, I wish I had $1 million in a new body. I like your body. Be quiet. It's got you in it. Simon says he's good, comparatively speaking. Crow agrees with Stormy. Any ideas what this reclaimed wood will be used for? Some of the larger pieces will be used. Let me find something I can reach that with. There we are. A little to the left. This is not as easy as I'm making it look, by the way. There we go. I don't know if you guys can read that sign, but what it says is accorded neutral territory. My friend Trim, who's also a massive Dresden fan, which is where that reference comes from, he's interested in having one of those signs made. That's one of the uses, if I get a significant size piece, that will be used for. In the books, there are 2 different states that sign exists in, and 2 different sets of words. At one point, it's referenced as accorded neutral territory, which is what you see there, and at other times it's written as accorded neutral ground. So I may do both, and depending on at what point of the story one wants the sign from, there is some fire damage and some chipping and stuff like that. So I may do some distressed versions as well, which really I've done test work on. It's not hard to do. It's difficult to do well because you had to be very, very careful playing with fire, especially in a wood shop. Let's see. Crow says I'm going to make him a coffin. I have enough wood here that I could patch together to make a human being a coffin. Stormy's hoping for a new flower box. Possibly. Coffin and flower box and Crow can be the fertilizer. Simon says the globalist hierarchy have already implemented this commercially. You can get yourself stuffed into it. Yeah, they're composting people in New York and California. And Crow says he is fertile. That's probably too much information for my particular stream. Different kind of woodwork, buddy. Nice fire, a few drinks. Sounds like a perfect date night. Stormy says Crow will probably grow very nice flowers. Those bluebells will be like oak trees. Callum Dayton, hi. You're not technically late. It's an unannounced stream. How could you possibly be late for it? Let's see. Black lilies. Hey, I like black lilies. I'm making a coffin come flower box combo. Stormy acknowledges my saying hello to her, talking about a ring box for a single ring, wanting something made of burl. I don't have the tools to work burl. If I had a lathe and the lathe chisels, I could make something very nice out of a burl. Though I'm kind of stumped where I'd find a burl right now. I'm sure if I wander the woods enough around here, I'll find something. Burl with a black. Crow says I know how to polish the wood. I do, actually. Callum says he's thinking fish and chips for tomorrow's Sultans stream or pizza from a chippy. He's not sure which. I'll be having leftover pierogies during the stream at some point. So, and I am at the bottom of chat. Excellent. And there's one vote from Simon for fish and chips. Proper English food. So yeah, that's all I'm really going to be doing tonight is just pulling pieces off, determining whether they're worth keeping or not, whether I'll have to harvest wood from the ends by sawing it off. Other than that, there's not a lot going on. I am happy to see that the bags that were under my eyes have shrunk significantly since this morning. Anybody who's seen For Fuck's Sakes Friday already, you guys will have seen how bagged my eyes were. The illness that I'm just getting over, and pretty much clear of. Sorry, Stormy. She hates my immune system. But, I mean, this thing hung on for a week. Just about a week. So, and Callum says, I am looking a lot better, thank you. Yeah, this illness hung on for about a week, and what did I miss? Oh, no, fish and chips. Okay, I saw that. But yeah, being sick like this for a week, it's incredibly wearing, especially when I'm working at the same time. The good thing about it is the work I do, and I suppose I shouldn't put air quotes around it, But the work I do is both fairly sedentary and not particularly strenuous, uh, as opposed to something like this, which is physically involving. But I've always been the type that once I start to feel better, I want to be more physically active, so I find things for myself to do. This is actually a constructive demolition of sorts, so uh, yeah, now it's just a matter of laying that thing back down and tearing more screws out. Or perhaps I won't. Perhaps I'll just move the camera over to the side of it if I can, and just leave it stood up where it is and peel each board off at a time without having to spend a lot of time bent over or laying down on the piece. Let me see. Have I buggered you guys to, or beggared you guys to chill and subscribe and all that stuff already? um, what else? Oh, the merch store. I'll mention a little bit about the merch. My plan is to offer a couple of non-YouTube friendly pieces of merchandise, so I won't be advertising it on YouTube. I will leave the link in the description once it's set up. At this point, I'm looking at Redbubble. Crow says he has chow mein being made for him tomorrow. Don't know if I can cope with black pills with Bezic. No, I'm not making wooden dildos. I could. I do have all the equipment I need to make wooden dildos, because all you really need is a knife and sandpaper. And a saw. I'm very strongly considering trying to get a copy of the Sardong from Monkey and see if I can't carve one of those out of wood and send into the Lotus Eaters, because I think that would be fun. Here's the prototype dildo. No, I'm just kidding. This is just a piece of wood I've been playing with when I was bored. Anyway, back at it. This time I'm actually going to disconnect my tablet and move the cord, so you guys may find some disruption occurs. Though I don't think so. I think my tablet is fairly well charged. Let me see. Yeah, 62%, not too bad. And yes, for those of you wondering why I don't have a polarized lens, it's because I'm actually using a... let's see if I can get this to stand here without falling down. I'm actually using a... That's not going to work. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm just using a tablet. So, ambient light is all I've really got to work with. Let's hope this outdoor plug doesn't fry my cord. Well, nothing's burst into flames yet, so I think we're good. I'll get you guys a better angle here so you can actually see what I'm doing. And, yeah, I need my gloves before I touch any of that. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can't move you back there a bit better. That's a bit better. So, it's really just a case of pulling screws out and then examining each board, determining whether they're worth saving or not. So far, I've got nothing worth saving. It's all rotted. What I will do, for the sake of the safety of anybody who happens to handle these, I will end up knocking the screws out of this with a hammer, and then I'll probably put them out in a pile by the road with a free firewood sign or something on them. Right now, though, they're going to get stuck in the ground, screws down, so that none of the neighborhood animals or children, but I repeat myself, happen to injure themselves. This has the secondary benefit of actually aerating a tiny part of the lawn as I'm doing it. Okay. Now then, where will we start? I guess we'll start as far away as possible. I think actually I'll start as close as possible. I wish I had better lighting out here. Is that safe, I wonder? Those are not particularly bright, so they will stay off. And again, this is the very rotten end, so there's not much likelihood that that's savable. It looks dry rotted, so. Do I have something I can squat on? I do not. Well, this is going to be fun. I do need something to put under my knee, though. Sure there's a screw in there. Okay, if there is, it's gone. I don't see one there. Okay. No, that won't actually tear up. Screw there. There it is, but it's sunk so far I might not be able to get it out. Can't find it. Okay. So that's not worth my time. Because there is no good screw in there. Okay, so I actually found some wood I can use. Well, as you can see, the great majority of that is still usable. All of this is still very good. So what I will have to do is cut away a significant portion of that. But that's a job for another day. Don't want to leave it in there. So I'm going to do this up here. You can lay these over here. There. Of course, I realized you guys couldn't see what I was doing, but I just basically moved a couple of things so that I could put the boards just inside the door of the shed, and then once I get a moment to get out here, I can use the miter saw to knock off the ends and the band saw to cut off the rot on the lengths. And I might actually have found some good wood here. This is all soft, rotted, and shot. That's ready to come apart. Matter of fact, since I don't want that to come apart just yet, I'll push it back together. Now, one thing I've always gotten a kick out of people who have these adjustable torque screwdrivers, they generally don't do this. They most of the time just go straight to the how to put it, they go immediately for the full on as opposed to, you know, warming it up. And that's stripped out. having here is that the wood has swollen around the screws. So this is probably the same as this plank here was. Very, very rotted, and most likely not going to hold the screws very well once I put the bar to it. Okay. Let's get a little angle on this. No, okay. So that's tearing right out. On the upside, it's only the ends of this one that look bad. Matter of fact, from the looks of that, I should be able to use everything probably past this point. That's actually a pretty good find. And that will actually almost certainly be one of my signs when I finish. Possibly two, depending on how big I decide to make them. And for now, I'm just going to see if I can keep pulling these pieces off without having to resort to the screwdriver. Now that's not good. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, more sunken in screws. That figures. Let's see how that works. Okay. That should pull right up as well, same as the last one did. Okay. I'm actually hitting the screw on this side. And as you can see, this is, oh, I'm getting pieces of wood in my eye. This is so rotted that it's just turning into mulch. On the upside, good for the lawn. On the downside, bad for me. Working. There. I actually tore that loose with the screws. That's another piece of pretty good. Believe it or not, once that gets processed and cleaned up, it'll be usable. Now I have some smaller pieces in the middle, and I think the screws may not be as sunken in these, so I'm going to give this a shot now. I honestly didn't expect this to take this long, but I guess that's what I get for making an assumption. That's very soft. You can see the scratch all sinking almost all the way into it. Well, I found a screw, I think, that I might be able to get to turn. Let's find out. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Question is, can I get the screw head clear enough to actually turn? No, I can't. Okay. Okay, and this is just going to disintegrate around the bar again. Technically, I'm saving myself some cutting. we are. Now, I was talking earlier about ring boxes with Crow, and with these pieces, I can actually make ring boxes with this stuff because it's thick enough to be planed, and I can take a thin slice off of it with my new bandsaw, plane it down to get all the old paint and stuff off of it, plane it to get the paint off, and then slim it down. Hi, Bleach. Good to see you. Slim it down with the planer, and then either take two pieces, sandwich together, and make a hinged box, or I could make one with a pin hinge, which is basically you just put a pin through a circular or any other opening so it swivels, open and closed. The box never actually comes apart. So, in a sense, that's a minor success. And yeah, at this point, I think I'm just going to have to dispense with the idea of tearing the screws out. They're all pretty corroded and packed full of stuff, so this is going to be the fun watch Ardent tearing things apart video. There we are. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, most of those pieces, other than the ends where they're obviously rotted, are pretty good. I was hoping to save these long pieces, but it doesn't look likely. I may save a portion of them, but it doesn't look like I'm going to save much of it. And this piece in the middle here has to go anyway. So let's get that off the grass so I know where they are. And there we go. Go around the other side and collect that one. And as you can see, this one was very rotted. But hopefully, everything from there over is in reasonably good shape, though it doesn't. A couple of long pieces right at the end might be good. Okay, I'm going to go back to the pointlessness of trying to scratch all again. Right. Oh, that one's not very deep at all. Let's see what we've got. I don't think there was a screw there. I can see a screw here, but whether I can get it out or not is no question. Yeah. Ooh. I think I may have burned my brushless motor. May have been too hard on the drill that time. Let's see what we've got up there. That is a very buried screw, and I don't know if I can get at it. Well, I got it. What do you know? Oh, and my screw cup is in the shed. Okay, that's minor victory too. Whew. Ow. Okay, that one came up. This is a little bit like, I don't really know how to describe this in terms, or how to analogize this. It's just trying to find a screw. It's something in the wood. Now it did grab, but doesn't seem to want to come out. Mostly because it's probably lifted out of the bit of wood that was good and ended up in the rot where it can't get any purchase to spin. So we'll go back to the old standby of tear it the fuck out of there. Yeah, okay. That's just tearing apart. Do I have I do, as a matter of fact, have a hammer. I think. Not available. Where are you? Okay. As my hammer is in the house, I'm going to attempt to get this up in another fashion. See a screw at the bottom of this one. Let's see if I can get that out. You can hear as they're coming out that they're, well, you can see they're not exactly well anchored. I have to take my time bringing them up very slowly. There we go. What did we gain off of that? Oh, we gained 2 broken screws. That's good to know. I suspect I know why that's broken. Let me see if I can show you guys that. Oh, don't fall over. Okay, so you can see there's 2 broken screws here. What probably happened was when these were put in, the torque issue that I talked about before, about some people not knowing how to handle an adjustable torque tool, and it was an older fellow that helped me put this together. People who aren't familiar with the adjustable torque drivers will smash things in at full force, and some quite often shear them off. On the other side, I have no screw at all, so again, I'm looking at a significant piece of wood that I've managed to save, so I'm quite happy about that. And now I've got access to this one to get a hand on it. Okay. Nope. Let me just stay where I put you. There. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured those were broken off as well. Some of them broke. As you can see, this one broke up here because it was rusted. You can actually see the end of it. There we are. Actually see the end of it, kind of. Let me get the angle right here. Need a lighter background. How can I put my arm behind it? Let's see. There we are. Yeah, that's not working. But that one, oh, you can see it there now. It broke off because it was rusted. And of course, that one was sheared. And there looks like a bit of possible rot on the edges. That's the sort of thing that I'll take a scraper to if I can't find good wood within a few strokes. I'll just chuck this stuff. Okay, I'm going to get these two pieces off and I'm taking another break to talk to chat. Oh, lovely. Barely useful. Yeah, you can see this stuff is just disintegrating in my hand. So that end is almost certainly no good. That edge kind of gives me a bit of pause, but once I take a bit of scraper to it, who knows? I'll get it in the vise and give it a shot. It was weathered wood before it was put together, so who knows? There we are. That side's already off. Unfortunately, it's on top of a span, so it's going to be a little more difficult to get off. I'll break some of this stuff away, I guess. That's gross. That looks lightly promising. There we are. Oh. On the upside, you know that the wood that end was in pretty good shape, considering how bent that screw is. That'll be fun to get out later. So it's got a lot of what might be mold or any number of other things on it. So yeah, could be fungus. So when I actually go to work on this stuff, I will be wearing a mask. Now, give me just a minute. I'll take these gloves off, throw this on the pile, and take a short break again. Actually, the tools can stay over here. And oops, come on you. There we go. I do apologize if you guys can hear me burp, but I had green onions on my pierogies earlier, and well, they create a little bit of gas when they digest. The sour cream probably didn't help any either. Let's get that plugged back in. Okay. Let's see what I've missed from chat since I was gone last. I did see Bleach had been in. I hope he's still there. I'd like to say hi. Looks like he is. Let's see. Going to be a segment on the King's Speech. Currently alive, Mad Max style. Cause for concern. Furries. OnlyFans. Let's see. Load to dry first. Sounds painful. Wooden dildos. Okay. I threw my sardong away in the end. Oh, why? I would have at the very least given it back to Carl. Let's see. Didn't want splinters. Okay. Sounds painful. Wooden dildos were actually a thing once. And Stormy knows this story that I'm about to tell, and probably some of you guys as well. The origin of the word dildo. Dildo is originally another word for toll pin. Thole. Now, that may be properly pronounced thole or even thole, but, or even thole, I don't know. But here in Newfoundland, we tend to drop the H's. So things like a thole pin becomes a toll pin. And if you don't know what a toll pin is, the small wooden rods that are used to hold oars in a traditionally built wooden boat, now they have what's called rowlocks or oar locks, which is kind of a metal saddle that sits into a fixture attached to the side of the boat. The gunwale, or gunwale, if you're someone who pronounces things as they're spelled. But the original method was to drill 2 holes and put 2 wooden pegs in, just wide enough for the oar to sit in them, so that you could brace the oar while you were rowing. Hence, a toll pin. I don't know how dildo came out of that, but that is the origination. I assume at some point, some adventurous girl decided to have some fun with a toll pin. Possibly an adventurous boy, I don't know. But that's the derivation of it, as I understand it. Simon says, varnish over a high polish should take care of that. No, you don't actually want to varnish a wooden dildo. You want to polish it as tight as possible. What you would do, and this is going to be true for any wood product that you don't want to actually apply a finish to, that you just want to leave natural looking. You need a significantly hard wood. I can hear the giggles now. But you need a sufficiently hard wood that will take a good sanding. And you start at a very rough sandpaper, 40 grit or below if you can find it. And you gradually increase your grit number. So you go from 40 to 60, do very thorough work until it's all nice and uniform. Then from 60 to 80, 80 to 100, 120, 150. And the numbers on sandpaper can go very, very high. If you go to automotive sandpaper, you get up as high as 450, 500. I've had sheets of 800 and 900 in my hand. And if you gradually increase the grit number, what you're essentially doing is creating tighter and tighter channels in the wood that once you get to a certain point, all you're really doing is pressing sawdust back into the wood and essentially sealing it. So you can actually polish wood to the point that it's more or less watertight. It's still a good idea to apply something to it. I would recommend an oil, something food safe at the very least if you're using it for, let's call it intimate play. Crow says he's not varnishing his polished asshole. Okay. Yeah, you don't use varnish because varnish will actually disintegrate in body fluids and friction. And I did have to rip it apart. Hammer's waiting in the wings. The hammer is actually in the house. Thanks for the compliments on the behind. Didn't realize this was a cam show. Bow chicka bow bow. Yeah, Stormy's waiting for the 70s porno music. OnlyFans is another income source. I'm actually not mad at Stormy. Crow says he opened an OnlyFans account once, but apparently people didn't want to see his tits. Okay. Ironically, I opened a Pornhub account just about the time I started doing stream stuff, because the idea I had, which I didn't follow through on, was that, oh, I seem to have not a splinter, but probably a speck of some kind. I'll just keep that eye closed for a little while so I can be completely pirate. I'm just letting this tear up. What is this? Is this a smudge or is that hair? That's hair. Okay, good. Um, yeah, the idea with the Pornhub account was that Pornhub actually allows you completely free speech. And it was only a few weeks before that that someone had posted a picture of Sargon on the Lotus Eaters. I don't know if it was just a gag meme or if someone had actually posted something of Sargon's to OnlyFans. Uh, Something about destroys liberal or something like that. Uh, oh, something about furries. What did I miss? But there's a market out there somewhere. A lot of furries. Okay, there. Now I understand. Crow furries. Those are featheries, aren't they? Let's see. The crow just realized that if he gets big, he's going to have furry porn fan art. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm I'm very glad that the only fan art that's been made of me has been those Pope memes. But now that I've probably, unfortunately, put the negative idea in your guys' heads, I'm sure something interesting will be popping into Sultans live shows tomorrow. Let's see. Crow could be the next manga sensation. Bleach Demon says, ahoy, hoy. Hi, Bleach, again. Simon says, at this rate, AI is going to have an easy job wiping us out. Some of us. Anybody know how to build an EMP? uh, Bleach says he's currently alive and in a Mad Max-style battle across the interstates of America. Watch out for anyone who says anything about cutting toes. Let's see. Sasquatch says he couldn't stay. I hope he's still here long enough to hear me say hi. Let's see. AI won't wipe us out. It'll just create its own porn to sell. Oh, God. AI created porn. I've been seeing those AI created commercials. The pizza commercial is horror show level of, oh, my God, that's so wrong. Let me see. I would expect there to be some segment on the King's speech tomorrow. Yes, Colin. Even if only references in jokes. Was that speech today? Let's see. When AI can finally work out how to make hands, or the AI videos improve, yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, if AI figures out how to make deep fakes. Let's see. Wipe ourselves out through lack of breeding. I don't think that's going to happen. Bleach points out that replica AI already exists. AI or robotics, first thing I was like, can I help it? Oh, God. I don't remember what movie it was, but it was an alien invasion movie. Quite a few years back. It may have been an animated thing. Like, this is coming from the depths of my very pot-addled brain from back then. But I remember there was some conversation in a film about how if aliens landed on Earth, the first thing people would try to do would be hump it. Let's see. The AI might be smart enough to keep breeding stock, breed only the most useful humans. Well, depends on how the AI ends up defining useful. Let's see. Bleach says true people are just like dogs. They'll hump anything Brussels or Jimmy's. I'm not sure about Brussels or Jimmy's. That's reference I'm not getting. Let's see. Exactly the problem we'll face. Who exactly are we speaking to? Yeah. Biden is Uncle Fungus. Onion ASMR. Yeah, my apologies. Bleach is left. See you, Bleach. Sid the Sloth. Despite the stream, forelock for foreplay. Not sure. Let's see. Got to head off here to start dinner. Instant noodles with whatever I can scavenge in the fridge. Hot sauce is your friend. So is mustard with instant noodles. Cabin Boy probably found out. Callum Dayton, see you later. Odie's Oil, I hear, is really nice. Odie's Oil. Yes, if I recall correctly, that's a Danish oil brand. And I do believe that that was what I used on my cutting board when I did that as a... And Simon now has to sand away some varnish. And I'm all caught up, just in time to finish my cigarette. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with the amount that I've probably got from that. Most people probably would have just torn it apart and just junked it or burned it. Fortunately, there is a significant amount of firewood coming out of that, but there's actually quite a lot of what I hope is usable. Some that I will end up ketchup. God, you are such an American bleach. I'm Canadian and I don't even like ketchup much. I put it on my eggs. But if there's any other Canadians in chat besides Stormy, you'll get this reference. Relic and his fried eggs with ketchup. Stormy, of course, will probably give away the reference before much longer. What else? Yeah, like I say, I've got a fair bit of material out of that I wasn't expecting to get. Some of those big pieces will make fine craft pieces. I may very well use those to make those blade dagger replicas. Tongue oil. Does tongue oil on a wood dildo count as oral? No, it counts as eating the bogues, because tongue is a type of beetle. I don't exactly know how you would drill oil out of a beetle, but yeah. Mustard or hot sauce is best. Okay. Everybody's starting to catch up with me now. That's good. Oh, that's good. It's nice to get my spine stretched out after so long laying flat on it. I will be sleeping very well tonight. I've been going for an hour and a quarter just about, so it's getting close to 9:30. I think I'm going to rip the rest of the top off of that and probably, if I can't just get the frame to fall apart with torsion, just leave it for tomorrow. Ooh, that green onion is kicking my ass. Okay. Time to finish up. And what I'm going to do this time is put the the tablet back where it was originally and just shoot out the door. Pay no attention to the fact that I've been wearing the same sweater for 3 days. I'm an absolute slob when I'm sick. Sorry again, Mr. Spider, but you do live in my cabinet. So, and angle. Let's not get up the nose too well. There we are. Oh, yeah, let's not handle the tools with the potentially fungusy hands on them. And as I said, when I go to do more work on this, since I won't be finished this tonight, most likely, I'll be leaving my gloves dirty, but hanging them so that at the very least they dry out. Because if there is fungus in that wood, the last thing I need to be doing is transferring a cross-contamination. See, that's one of the good things about transferable skills. I used to work as a cook, so I understand cross-contamination with fungus. Side is actually significantly less rotten, so it may actually hold together. I can actually see the screw in this one. Is there another screw there? There might be. Success. think I may have broken that one off. These screws have migrated a little bit over time as well. Come on. I know that one's stripped. Is there another one over here? So the head of that screw is stripped. There we are. Just go. Go on. Go on, quit fucking around. There we go. More usable wood. So you can see there's a significant amount of usable wood here. Obviously this end is rotted. You can see how it's just falling completely apart for the really, really dull blade on the bar. But up there it's still pretty solid. Pretty dull sound there. So I suspect if I cut past that knot right around there, I'll probably have good wood. And that's what it's all about, finding the good wood. There we go. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ah. Downside, I've now got screws all over the grass. Upside, I didn't break the cup. And I do have a magnet inside that I can use to pick up those screws later. Okay, I don't think there's a screw in here. I'm not feeling it. Okay, there's the screw. Yeah, so I just break my... This end is very rotten, so I doubt I'm going to find a screw that will take purchase. Okay, that's falling apart. The piece next to it is in shambles anyway, so that's just going to get destroyed. Yeah. Okay. Ready. Now, if you look at the color in this one, it's a different species. I suspect this is fir, and almost everything else I pull off is spruce. This actually still has a factory mark on it. See if I can get that to show. Yeah, you can see the marker there, the stamp. And yeah, so that might be good. But given the dark color on it, I'm a little iffy. So we'll leave that one where it is. It's in the good pile, but it's going to take a significant investigation to see if that's any good. Surprisingly, there's actually some good wood on this. Actually, I'll take that back really quick, given the smell of it. You can see this one is completely rotten on that end. Soft there, and probably soft. Not soft on the side, which is unfortunate, because the only good piece of wood there is probably from here to about here. So that's garbage. And I do have to check it for screws. Definitely no screws. Okay. Now we've just got 3 big pieces to pull off, and they should come out fairly easily. Okay. This one, as you can see, has been quite worked over before. There's a lot of screw holes, nail holes. This was scrap that was reused, probably when it shouldn't have been. It's potential again. So that will actually go on that side. Now, as I pointed out when I started on the most rotten side. This piece is almost, well, I won't say perfect, but other than this knot hole right here, that's in really good shape. So that's probably going to be one of my signs. That will go on that side as well. Okay, last board. Okay, come on, you. Yeah. There we are. Now, this was a piece of 2 by, I'm going to guess 10, because I don't feel like putting my tape measure on it. It's probably fucked, because it looks pretty soft. But again, that's in the potential pile. Because it's such a wide board, there is a very distinct possibility I may get some good wood out of the middle part of it. And now you guys get to see me actually exercise a little bit of physical power as I pick that thing up and try to break it. That's every screw that was in there. And a wise old woodworker once told me, when you're finished with the tool, put it away. And I'm very definitely finished with these. So I'll give them a quick wipe with the gloves, fold them up, and hang them up before I go back to finish the rest of the job here. I do like stands, they're quite handy. Okay, that one's the outside, so that is the inside. Which means those need to get pinched, down, pushed, and there we are. And that's back on the nail, nice and neat. And assuming they were made the same way twice, this will be the inside over here. Drop it down. Give that a pinch. So it slides inside the legs of the other side. And there we are. And that's both of those back on their nails. And make sure I don't leave anything outside. What the hell did I do with my bar? Okay, good. Throw that on top of that. Well, of course you fell down. Because why wouldn't you? Now, what I'm about to do may not work. Or what I'm about to attempt may not work. What I'm going to do is pick this up and push against one corner to try and get the whole thing to kind of separate using torsion. It may not work. It depends on how rotten the ends are. If it doesn't work, I'm literally going to drop it and finish the stream. There we are. Now, given how rough and well put together that is, I'm going to leave that in a pile for tomorrow. And deal with it then in the daylight. That'll probably be an after Sultans thing. Probably. Depends on how bad my internet connection is. And you can see some parts of it are simply falling to pieces because they're so rotten. This is an old door frame, which is hilariously well preserved. So this might actually get used. It'll need to be resawn to remove that. But that's a job for the new bandsaw. And yeah, that may actually be this edge that you're looking, or this surface that you're looking at, may actually be flush enough that I can use that for planing the other side. Though I don't think I'm going to get a hell of a lot out of it. So that knocks over, that falls down. This is, as you can see, absolutely whack full of screws. All I'm likely to do with this is just knock the screws down with a hammer, if I even need to use a hammer. And more likely than not, what I'll do is this will end up going out for bulk garbage when the bulk garbage comes by again. Yeah, this is that's not usable at all, unfortunately. There's probably 6 inches of good wood there. I'm not going to spend the time that it would take to find it. That's just garbage. This is one of the spars, one of the spans. And obviously this side is fairly well chewed up. That side, not so much. So this may actually be useful for something as well. This is the sort of thing that I'd slice down and make jewelry boxes and trinket boxes out of. Hi, Kingdom. You've been a moderator for quite a while. Give me just a few minutes. I'm going to finish cleaning up what bit of mess is left out here, and then I'll be sitting down to have one more smoke before I end the stream. These two pieces are still stuck together pretty well. They were well painted, but I have my suspicions that there's not much point in trying to pull it apart and find much in it. So I may bother, I may not. That's another piece for investigation later. This piece, that's another part of that door frame. That's almost usable as is. So that's certainly one piece of wood I have to work with. Now, there's a lot. Okay, get this aimed at the camera. If you look along this, you can see that it's torn apart, quite rotten. It's not worth the time. This is another one. I'll just make sure the screws are not pointing out at anyone. And that's it for that. Give me just a second. I'll close these doors and sit down and have a chat with you. Do I have a flashlight in here to have a look at the ground? I don't believe I do. You would think I'd have a flashlight in a room that comes. No. Okay. Don't worry, I'm coming. Oh, that onion is still going back. Totally green, raw green onion, I suppose. But it was so good. There we are. Okay, gloves off and hung. Need to hang these up somewhere. Okay. Okay. So, if you're in chat and you're thinking about taking off, just to let you guys know, in about 10 minutes I'll be done myself. So right now I'm just hanging up my gloves, as I said I would. Fortunately, they have Velcro, makes them very easy to hang off door handles. Let's, oh, hello, right up the nose. Sorry. And if you can see the floor, you can see there's still a fair bit of cleanup to be done. But my initial goal was to get the, where'd the other glove go? There it is. My initial goal was to get those things torn apart. There's still a pallet at Stormy's that needs to be pulled apart. Once that's done, then I will have all the reclaimed wood I'm likely to get for the next little while. I thought I had a bottle of water out here. I don't. Okay. Let's drop everything down and check chat here. And then get ready to go inside and actually have a shower. Because I am a sweaty, sweaty boy. And I know some of the girls out there like that, but I don't. Okay. Oh shit, cigarettes cause cancer. I thought they were full of vitamin C and shit. If you get that reference, you know who Dennis Leary is too. Let's see, what did I miss in chat? Promethean Hales from Finland. Keep it that way, it's important we keep this alive. Wildlife of Canada. Listening to the stream the entire time, I was grinding some stamps in the game. I'm not sure what that is, but I'll come back to it. Soy. Chinese, Japanese, mustard or hot sauce. There we are. Crow says he loves Chipotle. He likes Chinese, Japanese sauces. I don't mind wasabi peas. I've had wasabi peas a few times. It's generally hard to get really exotic stuff like wasabi here. I find soy sauce too salty. Plus, I don't trust anything related to soy all that much. Partly because, well, I like having my testosterone level where it is. And partly because having thyroid disease, soy is actually very bad for your thyroid. Excuse me. I see I have 6 watching and 11 likes. That's awesome. I really appreciate that, guys. Since you're probably a somewhat new, or at least slightly rotated group, do kindly share and subscribe if it's your first time in chat. Make yourself known. What else? I do have Subscribestar and PayPal. You can find those in the description. I am going to be opening a merch store, and as I said earlier, it's most likely going to be on Redbubble. I've gotten a few products from Redbubble before as a customer, and actually I think this shirt may have come from Redbubble. So if they're willing to push the Kekistan stuff, I'm reasonably sure they won't have a big problem with my stuff. But again, some of my stuff will be not safe for YouTube. That probably won't stop me from actually wearing it on my channel. Let's see. Stormy says if I start cooking wood, she's going to be worried. I do like to chew cinnamon sticks, so I do use wood for food sometimes. Soy lowers testosterone. Mushroom ketchup. What in the world is mushroom ketchup? Mushroom ketchup is something between soy and Worcestershire. Oh, okay. Interesting. And yeah, the soy thing does go a long way to explain certain groups of Asian men. Thai ladyboys, for example. And Bleach points out that curry then explains how rapey the subcontinent is. Nixio Time Maker. Also, hi there. The more you know. Yes. And welcome. I do believe it's your first, possibly second time here. And if I didn't pronounce it properly, do let me know. Jonathan Crow, until I got into this. Oh, Simon says to Crow, until I got into this community, I didn't give a second thought to testosterone. I see now how important it is. Yeah, it is absolutely vital for a man to have good testosterone counts. And all over North America, especially, our testosterone counts have been dropping. All over the West, probably. Our testosterone counts have been dropping as we've been incorporating Asian food sources, especially soybeans. Let's see. Crow, I worry about experiencing lower testosterone as I gained weight over lockdown. So far, not seen any obvious signs of it, though, but it's important to keep an eye out. One of the things that will keep your testosterone high is not jerking off. Bleach says this is the strangest Bigfoot stream. Yeah, that might very well have been Bigfoot that walked by. I was listening to the stream the entire time. I was grinding some stamps in the game. Nixio Time. Your name is very familiar. What game are you grinding? Let's see. Crow says the stream is mostly Ardent talking to himself whilst we chat about random shit behind his back. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And I do talk to myself a lot. Yeah, Stormy is very true about that. It is one of my absolute weirdest quirks. I do spend a lot of time talking to myself. Live Ardent examines found wood. Ardent's got wood. Bleach, Simon says the wildlife of Canada. Stormy says yay for me. Well, to be fair, Newfoundland, Canada. If you've seen For Fuck's Sakes Friday today, you know that I'm kind of black-pilled on the idea of proud Newfoundlanders. Oh, Nixio says he's also a Newfoundlander. Hello. And Stormy asked if Nixio had caught my For Fuck's Sakes Friday on Rumble. And yeah, I'm always going to be a proud ethnic Newfoundlander. So yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm Canadian or not. I'm first generation Canadian. I'm a Newfoundlander by birth, as far as I'm concerned. If I ever get my shop open, Crow says he'd love to work with me. Get some decent boxes to go with my jewelry. I'd absolutely love to do that. I do have actually, I have the material now, and uh, the the tools and resources to actually make some jewelry boxes. Uh, Stormy, if you would be so kind, and I'm hopefully you're still watching. I suspect you are. Um, for the record, that was totally for Stormy. Um, uh, if you're still watching, would you kindly take a picture of your jewelry box, open and closed, and post it somewhere in the Discord for Crow? Just tag him. That way he can get an idea of what I'm making. I will point out, Crow, that that is not a good example of my work. It's acceptable, barely. But because I was doing it in some of the coldest weather of the year and some of the biggest temperature changes, humidity got under what I was using for a finish, and it kind of marred it. And I did try to correct it, but it didn't really work out super well. Let's see. My exertion of physical power is Stormy's favorite part. I wasn't exerting physical power. I was using the power of physics and a fat ass. uh, oh, yeah, no. Oh. Stormy is referencing a gift she has coming for me that I will absolutely be making a stream with when I get it. Yeah, Crow is actually aware of it. The Viking wood splitter axe, or sword rather. Um, it's not much of a surprise when we've talked about it repeatedly, love. And Bleach, yeah, I would probably have a bit of a thing for that girl with the Viking wood splitter axe if she wasn't a lesbian. Splitting wood is better than the gym? Absolutely. Look at my friggin' shoulders, man. I don't work out. I used to chop wood when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite things to do. Uh, it's also awesome to watch. Stormy is getting heated. Ardent will be the Moses of the trees, splitting the redwoods. Yes. Actually, you're not allowed to cut down redwoods anymore. Endangered species. Got a nice axe and a lot of wood. Sounds like a day on the front porch watching for me. There's Kingdom again. Yes, you've been a moderator for some time, Kingdom. At least since the last time I was sitting at my computer and noticed you. Speaking of rewarding people who support me and who come here often, my Discord. I'm getting close to being comfortable with the idea of actually opening it up to people who follow my streams. So while it won't be posted yet, get that out of sight. YouTube probably won't like that. But while I'm getting ready to open it up to my streams, and I'll probably do the same thing Razorfist does, and only drop the link during my streams. And what I may do is actually make the invite link very time sensitive. So if I drop it, I'm going to attempt to make it, if I can, again, boomerang my way with Discord, I'm going to try to make it extremely time limited. If I can do it, it'll be an hour or the length of the stream, what have you. But it's not quite ready yet. And Kingdom says he was never notified that he was a mod. Oh, that's unfortunate. By the way, you're a mod now. Let's see. Stormy says, oh, hang on. Let's see here. Calm down, Stormy. Bleach says, Stormy knows what she likes. It's not like we wouldn't enjoy watching that last. Yeah, you know, I knowing she's a lesbian doesn't stop me from enjoying watching her chop wood, but it's more the chopping of the wood that I enjoy at this point. Let's see. Stormy says she's a wild Newfoundland woman. Yeah. Simon says it was a field promotion. Let's see. Yes. Bleach is asking if we export women. Bleach, if you can find a Newfoundland girl wherever you are, and trust me, you're more than likely within 100 miles of one, believe it or not, because since I think since the end of the First World War, there have been over 2 million Newfoundlanders have left and not come back, and that's totaling the entire century. And I believe that was between like 1910 and 2000, may have been 2010. But with that many Newfoundlanders spread out, and if you only take one generation of growth at, well, in the 1900s, it wasn't uncommon for Newfoundland families to have 6 to 12 children. And if you just do that single math for one generation, one of my friends worked this out once, and basically if Newfoundlanders were spread evenly across the globe, you could never be more than, I believe he said, 5 miles from a Newfoundlander. So if you look around, you can very likely find probably a Newfoundland guy, or a guy who's 1 or 2 generations removed. Chase his cousins. Newfoundland girls do still tend to be fairly traditional girls, especially the Catholic ones. Let's see. Kingdom, in regards to rifles, I want to get a Ukrainian Malyuk rifle. I do believe I saw a picture of you had posted of that. It did look interesting, but it also looked like a bullpup. Stormy, we do export women. Monkey, hi, says this is a rare late night live stream. It's not actually late at night for me. It's only 10 o'clock, which is significantly later than I'm usually up. Bleach says cinnamon sticks, death sticks. I'll take a piece of cinnamon, crack it off, chuck it in my cheek. That's a breath freshener for me. Plus, it's tasty. Hello, monkey. Hello, bird. I did see the comment about the Ukrainian rifle. Bully monkey's beer fridge. I will not bully a fridge that has that much Guinness in it. Let's see. Cold weather. Yeah, we did have some cold weather. This would have been what? I was rushing to get it ready for Valentine's Day, so I was probably working on it December and January when it wasn't too cold to be out here. And other than the way the finish turned out, and I did actually practice that Japanese wood burning technique on it, which is also the same technique. I can show you a piece, or a couple of pieces that I've made using that technique, which I haven't finished the project they belong to yet, but these were made with that Japanese burning technique. These are pieces of juniper wood that in the middle of a Discord conversation one night, I just shaped into stakes. I think we had gotten on the topic of vampires, and I had pointed out that there's nothing more terrifying for a vampire than a woodworker who knows what he's doing. But you can see there's a beautiful finish on these from the burn. These are juniper, and I actually really love the way this looks. There's a little bit of practice finish on this one, so it's not great. I'll put that back there so it stays in shot. And this one actually has a much nicer color gradient on it, in my opinion. But these are actually, I was thinking I'm going to, and I'm still planning to, use those to make a, oh, for the record, there's no finish on this. This is all burned and sanded. It's polished absolutely. You could really do a motherfucker a bad turn with that. Oi, mate, you got a license for that stick? But I'm planning to use them for bookends. I'll make a little square stop for bookends and mount those to it. Probably shouldn't make that gesture too much on this stream. Let's see. Don't bully the fridge of godliness. Speaking of cold, Alaska is colder than Scandinavia. There are times when Alberta is colder than Siberia. Ard has a Discord and I didn't get invited. Okay, I see how it is. Nobody's been invited yet, Monkey. The only people who've ever been in there are Stormy, obviously, but my friend Cass, Supreme Emperor Kiza, and there was one other person that I had interviewed. But mostly at this point, I've been using it only as basically an archive for my stuff. I'm getting ready, as I said, to open it up and let people who want to come in and use it. the thing with me is I'm concerned about moderation and making sure not too many idiots end up in there. There are a few idiots on the internet, you may have noticed. Let's see, yeah. Stormy pointed out it wasn't set up yet. Kingdom, unfortunately, where I'll be living in the future, upstate New York. Oh, you poor bastard. Yeah, it will only be allowed to have 10 rounds. Yes, but you can have 100 magazines. Let's see. MKDS 312 says she finally caught alive. Hi, nice to see you. It's going to be a Discord entirely of Ardent spamming his videos. So far, that's all it is, really. That and Sultans videos. Anything I'm involved with, basically. Yeah, New York's gun laws. Closing down. We are getting ready to shut down. Once I get to the end of chat, I will say my goodbyes, because by then it'll probably be 2 hours in. Kingdom asks if I could, would I want an AK? Absolutely. I would dearly love to be able to walk into Brandon Herrera's shop and say, hey man, I want you to make me an AK. And not just any AK. I want an AK pattern. Probably something like a Vintorez or a Saiga, the shotgun. But I wouldn't mind having, you know, a bare bones straight up AK either. Let's see. Makes Kingdom think of a bullet. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. Kingdom looks like a 20mm round. 20 mic. Possibly. I could easily make shotgun rounds. Okay, I'm at the... I appear to be at the end of chat. Yes, MKDS 312, I do know who you are. You're one of my cousins. Let's see. If the AK-47 would still exist if the Soviet Union never did. It's kind of like wondering if the M16 would exist if Vietnam hadn't happened. Probably, but maybe not. Yes, Crow, I do know you too. I'm just not related to you. Let's see. Bay State. That's why I have literally only people I know aren't knob-ins in my Discord channel. You, anybody else? You and nobody else, unless you know people who are also cool. Feel free to invite them, but nobody else. Yeah, and I absolutely would not invite anyone else. I'm very rarely... Well, that's true, Crow. We're probably related, you know, somewhere around Charlemagne. It depends, though. If you've got any people from the southwest of England, we're probably related even more closely. What is that? Is that Devonshire? There's another one that's a very long one. That's Staffordshire. But it's in that area of Devonshire and those surrounding shires where my people come from. Bleach wants to know how he got into crows. Kingdom says he doesn't like Charlemagne. I don't understand why, but you're free to dislike whoever you choose. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this cigarette and then we're done for the day. So if you guys have anything to ask me, no matter how kooky or zany, by all means, now's the time. While you're doing that, I'm just going to stretch my back. Oh. Oh well, that didn't take much. A Crow says he only has his Discord for his YouTube. That's basically the only reason I had it, was just as a... Crow, you have friends, don't be a dick. Kingdom asks if I would want to live in Alaska. Only once the polls change. I don't want to be anywhere cold. And now that the U.S. has opened the border to people who aren't stabbed, I very well may be moving south. Not in short order, but in some sort of order. If anybody knows someone in the U.S. who's willing to sponsor an immigrant cabinet maker, woodworker, I'll pretty much shovel pig shit at this point to get into the States if it gets me my citizenship. Plantagenet all the way. Okay. Well, if we're going to go back to Plantagenet, that's King Arthur, isn't it? Or supposed to be? Or am I thinking of Richard the Lionheart? Possibly both. Crow is asking if I've ever made a bed frame. I have, not for a while, but bed frames are, excuse me, hilariously easy. In terms of the bare, just box shape of it, be very easy to make. I'm actually planning to make a bed frame for me and Stormy in the next little while. That's going to be a bit of an involved project. It will... Best wood for a wooden dildo by grain and pattern. You want something that's relatively water resistant, so teak is a good choice. If you're looking for something very pretty, I'd recommend poplar or purple heart. Poplar is a bit soft though, so you might want to stabilize that with resin of some kind. Henry VIII was a Plantagenet. Okay. Monkey says we just need to get a ranch in Texas for the Sultans where we can all live in eternal peace, dependent on government intervention. Given that Waco was in Texas, I'm going to say no to that and suggest maybe Tennessee or Kentucky. Tennessee is an incredibly pro-Second Amendment state. So, yeah, my top three are Texas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and then Florida. Not necessarily in that order. Top four, rather. Let's see. Edward III. Okay. That was the Black Prince, wasn't it? Edward III, or was that Edward II? Bleach says at least he's a favorite. Yeah. And, you know, everybody who's watching now, I better shill or Bezig will lose his mind at me. Don't forget the Sultans of Shadilay in about 12 hours. Actually, that might be 13. 12 and a half, give or take. Kingdom says he has to go. His battery is low. I'm going to assume it's his device. Monkey is not actually starting a cult, but we can do cult-like things. My vote is actually to go... I've been saying this for a while, that we should all play the lottery in our respective countries. And if any of us wins big, we should all move to some portion of Detroit and essentially just take it over. I'm relatively sure the City Council of Detroit could easily be purchased, or at least a seat on the council. And if we guarantee to keep crime down and improve the neighborhood, yeah. Avenge Wacko. This time we win. Yeah. I was really young. That was one of the first stories I really followed on the 24-hour news services, was the Waco situation. And even then, I could feel somewhere in my gut that there was something I wasn't being told. Monkey says, don't listen to me. It's 1:45 and he's drunk. Definitely Tennessee. Parts of Tennessee rebelled against everyone in the Civil War. Is that the Free State of Jones? Is that based or something to do with that sort of sentiment? Simon says it's 1:45 as well. Yeah, you and Monkey are in the same time zone. I'm honestly shocked you two haven't actually run into each other. It's a funny little world, so you never know. But then again, time zones being what time zones are, you could be on opposite sides of the country. If I recall correctly, Britain only has one time zone. See you, Simon. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I'm going to finish the cigarette, and I'm done. Bleach is also... Oh, no. Okay, Simon's saying goodbye to Bleach. My apologies. Oof, I need a shave. Not that you can tell. Barely shows up. Even this thing, which is fairly full, is barely registering on camera. It's the curse of being ginger, I suppose. On the upside, I can identify as trans black because I have brown spots, right? Oh my. So let's see, what else is in the news? Oh, Stormy sent me an article earlier, something to do with Trudeau is ready for the fight. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be an interesting article to read. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but it's Politico, so it should be half decent. I will say I'm very happy to see that Vice is folded like a house of cards. What else is going on? Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen it. An AI rewrote the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It's way better. Somebody used ChatGPT to rewrite the Star Wars trilogy. Oh, Bleach says kind of. Okay. He also says part of Tennessee decided to switch from the Confederacy because they hated the rest of the state. Oh, that's awesome. I do love a good go fuck yourself story. We're out. You guys are wankers. We're gone. Yeah. Stormy is, of course, saying she's very happy everyone showed up. Yeah, Stormy is my biggest cheerleader. I would not be nearly as happy to keep doing this as I am without Stormy. So, you know, very, very big thanks to that woman. Oh, God's monkey. Thanks for leaving me with that image. The shortest cheerleader. This from the one who's, what, 2 inches taller? Yeah, Bleach, we do grow them short here. Oh my. It could be worse, Crow. You could slide into Dick Cheney and get your face blown up. I mean, go have a hunting accident with Dick Cheney. Okay, guys. I am friggin' done. It is way, way too close to my bedtime to keep doing this. I'm going to go and get myself a coffee and a shower. And probably spend a few minutes playing some Skyrim. I do plan to eventually start streaming Skyrim because I play it so much. Oh, Crow. Okay, guys. You know how I'm going to sign off. So I hope you're having a good day. Good night for some of you. I hope you have sweet dreams for some of you. I hope you don't wake up with too much of a hangover. Drink water. And if you want to do that savage break an egg into a glass of beer in the morning thing, hey, if it's your thing, do it. I'm out of here. So you guys have a good night and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.